Hey, Hound Dogs, I'm David Hankins,
I'm Paul Hankins. I'm Trevor Hankins.
and you're on the air with Power Squared. Tonight, our guest is James Silvani, best known for his work on the comic books for DuckTales and Darkwing Duck. We had some technical difficulties with recording, and so we're going to sort of fill in our questions and intersperse it with his answers for the first couple of minutes of the podcast. So I've introduced him, and so the first question we ask about this is his second time to be on our podcast. We had you on the podcast in September of 2024, and you were here talking about your Kickstarter, Pirates: A Graphic History, but not that kind of graphic, which was successful. 338 backers pledged almost $22,000, and we congratulated him.
Yeah, thank you so much. I was shocked and amazed to be able to do that on my first Kickstarter.
And then we asked, since this is your first Kickstarter project, we wanted to discuss your experience. What unique challenges did you face, and how did you get through them?
Boy, you really cannot prepare yourself when you're doing this all on your own. Yeah, the book itself was hard. I mean, because it was researching. It was about 5 years of just reading as much as I could and videos and tracking down the true story of pirates. And yeah, that was crazy. Plus, the book ended up being about 180 pages, and I so I wrote, drew, lettered the whole thing. And but then when I got to the Kickstarter, that's when the real work began, because then it was promoting yourself. It was making sure the word got out, and just being when the campaign was going on every day. I mean, you just had to be on it. I was on there online 10 or 12 times a day, just saying, "Hey, sign up for my, back my Kickstarter," and because you never know. And then even after it's done with, you still get probably 30% of the people who follow you and saying, "Oh, I didn't even hear about it. I didn't. You missed the first 100 Instagram posts that I made. Well, I'm sorry." Yeah, so that was hard enough getting the word out. Then the campaign was finished, and that's when the real work began. Um, I probably went through 4 or 5 different printers until I found the right one, um, and then I had to realize that I couldn't color it on my own, so I called in my friend Amy Meverson to finish the coloring for me. I had already set my palette that I wanted. I wanted to keep it simple in case I was coloring this on my own. But so I kept the palette to 8 colors. And so it was easy for her to come in and just kind of follow my lead on that. Got the coloring done, and then the actual building of the book. Luckily, I've made a lot of good friends in the industry, uh, especially from my time at Boom Studios, and I was able to call in some favors and work some deals with some other people. So I had somebody to put the book together for me, to lay it out, do the title pages and everything, which Erica, uh, who was at Boom Turicas, and she was able to do a fantastic job. One my associate editor on the Darkwing comics, Janice Orlando, Janice, sorry, and she helped with the editing, and then when it came to the last round of stuff, my wife took a gander at it, and we were just sitting there for a week going back and forth. And God love her, she found every spelling mistake that I had ever made. And once I got this realized and finished and ready to send off to the printers, I didn't even think to put it through the spell check before that too, because I had so many names in there. Names are not going to know, or spell check isn't going to know what to do with names. But
Right.
put it through one more round of that, and then it was ready to go. And got it back from the printers, and still found 2 spelling mistakes. Nothing I can do about that now. And then of course, I'm right now, as I'm doing my fulfillment, I'm about 90% of the way through my fulfillment. Um, trying to get on people who have not filled out their surveys for Kickstarter. Now, I don't know if for people who don't know how Kickstarter works, is they back the book. When it's finished, they fill out a survey with their address and confirming their credit card and such. And so I still have about a dozen or 15 people or so that have not filled out their surveys. So I'm going through that right now, trying to get those people.
Yeah.
So I don't want anybody who paid for a book not to get the book.
Oh, we'll get to that in a second. The delivery date was supposed to be April of this year, and you're delivering it now in kind of November. Is that all just, that was obviously that was unexpected it would take you that long, right?
Well, yeah, especially because like I said before, I'm doing it all myself. I'm
Right.
doing stuffing the envelopes. I'm putting the stretch goals in the inserts. Luckily, the printer I found, GPSD, was so fantastic to work with. Not only did they do my printing, they were able to help me with the upgrade and reformatting to a hardcover when I met my last stretch goal. And they made my pins, they made my bookmarks, and they made the mailers, the custom-made mailer for it to go into, and inserted everything all in there. So when I got the books, all I had to do was sign, and if they asked for a drawing inside, do a drawing inside and restuff it. But that's a couple hundred books that I still have to take out, sign,
Yeah.
tape up, put a mailer on. So,
Not to complain, but we're still waiting for our copy.
oh, for Christ! I'm
And
very sorry.
and Drawsaurus or whatever. What?
Okay. Okay. For the Drawsaurus ones, I had to get a custom mailer remade for that.
Okay.
So I just got those in the mail on Monday.
Okay.
So those will be going out in the next 10 days.
Okay.
So I had about 30 backers that chose the Drawsaurus add-on there too. So yes, so those will be sent out.
Okay, so the book and the Drawsaurus will come out the same
Coming
time?
together.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yes.
We're just like, hey, you're delivering it. I noticed your thing. I was on the 11th saying, hey, you should have gotten it by now. I was like, okay.
I do apologize.
No, that's fine. I'm sure it was optimistic to pick the April, because you never know.
Yeah, that was. I actually didn't even get the books in hand until I got my convention copies on hand in July, and then so also my shipping that I had to do is the books were printed in China. They were sent to the mainland, and I think I mentioned before I live in Hawaii,
Right.
so then they had to go to the mainland and then ship back to me here in Hawaii. So it was one big turnaround.
Yeah.
After another, but finally got those in hand at the end of August, and at that point is when I started going in earnest to send the books out in tiers.
So have you learned anything you want to share about Kickstarter that you want to share with people?
Whatever your goal is of money that you want to raise, double it. That's the most important part. Is whatever, if you thinking you want $500 or $5,000 or whatever, double it, because there is going to be costs that come up that you have no control over. And the other advice is don't print to order, print extras, because you want something to sell afterwards too. If you're doing conventions, if you're doing after sales, things like that, you always want to have those books on hand, because if you print the smaller amounts, it's going to cost you more. You print a larger amount, then you will have those books on hand to sell when you can.
So how many books did you actually produce?
I produced 1,000. I kind of had that number in mind ahead of time, because I figured if it was going to fund, it was going to be a couple hundred anyway. Plus, I have a very wonderful community of friends over here that have no idea what Kickstarter is. They're just being in Hawaii, it's a very let's say pop culture uncentric place. So, they don't know anything about crowdfunding, and nobody knows anything about that here. So I figure if I have a couple hundred books on hand here, I can probably move those here. And then the rest were for convention periods and online sales that I'm planning on opening up my store right after Thanksgiving this year, so I can put those out there as Christmas gifts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you plan to do another Kickstarter anytime soon?
So I actually, because this funded and because this was successful, I have a trilogy in mind that I want to do of famous scoundrels throughout history. So, first one is pirates.
Yeah.
The second one will be the Old West. So I want to do a thing about cowboys and bank robbers and such. How the West was one sort of thing.
Yeah.
Third one is going to be I would like to do the mafia.
I think you're gonna do politicians. Okay.
The mafia is
Well,
an
I'm
interesting
sorry.
subject.
I meant to say legitimate Italian businessman.
Yeah, so we'll come after you for that.
Yeah. I'm Paisan, so I can say that. But yeah, if things go well, I did learn a lot through this experience, so I know what I will need to do ahead of time, and where to get help. It's funny too when you put a Kickstarter out there, the number of emails and convention appearances you do, the people that will come up to you and want to help you with your next Kickstarter, to make things easier. They really come out of the woodwork. So maybe next time I will get things a little quicker out there. But I know one thing's for sure is I will have the book more finished too by the time I'm ready to start the campaign.
Yeah, you had sent us a kind of a preview of the book.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, just very detailed, and the drawings were really good, and it was kind of humor kind of on every page without being too much humor.
Oh,
Was,
that's good. I didn't. With that, I wasn't. For lack of a better word, I think I'm a gag guy. I've tried writing my own comics before. I'm not really a storyteller, so what really intrigued me about doing something nonfiction was the story was already there. I just had to research and find it, and then it was easier for me to add a gag on to the page or whatever was the information was being conveyed at the time. So I guess as long as it wasn't overwhelming and the information didn't get lost.
No. I mean, we all kind of looked through it.
Yeah.
And we thought it was good. So.
Oh, well, thank you. Did you guys you got your digital copy too, right?
I don't know if I did or not.
Yeah, those were when the book was first finished. I think back in February.
Oh, okay.
I sent everybody a link on Kickstarter to get their digital copies.
Well, then I guess I'll have to make sure I get mine. I don't know if I don't remember February from now.
Oh.
That was way long ago. So the boys caught up with you at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con.
Yes.
Was that a good convention for you?
You know what? Comic-Con is always fun. It's crazy. It's maddening. It's overwhelming, but inevitably, I still ended up having a good time at the show. And it was really nice to have my books out in the wild for the first time. That was the debut. That was before I actually got my because I had a stack of convention ones sent ahead of time before my actually ones that were going out to backers, and I do apologize that those. I had those first before I got my backers ones because it was. I couldn't do this without the backers, so I want that. But timing didn't work out the way I really wanted to. But it was exciting seeing, being there on preview night, and someone came up saying, "Oh, I've heard about this book. I want to grab your book." So, and it was nice because I sold out at the show. So, and every show that I've done since then, the book has been a sellout.
Well, that's good. We actually tabled for the first time this year at Comic-Con.
And how'd it go?
It was our, I'll say, our best convention we've done. We haven't done that many, but we didn't make back the table cost, but it was cool to go. I really had a good time, and I'd like to do it again. You have to keep going to get people to know who you are. We did have
Yeah.
we did have somebody come up and buy the entire run of Power Squared,
Oh,
which was
nice.
nice. Yeah, they bought the first two issues and then came back a couple hours later and bought the other 23. So that made it much more profitable than we would have been. But,
I think someone also bought the full run of my book.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
Oh,
has
nice.
Blade of Miracles. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. We got to talk to, met our neighbors and all that. We were in small press,
Right.
which is kind of, it was kind of an interesting experience. I wasn't really thrilled with, you can't pick your neighbors, and one of them was sort of would draw a crowd because they had this sort of help me out here.
It's like an AR thing.
Yeah, you could make a car
Oh.
make noise and run. So there was this crowd around them, and their little display kind of blocked us, and it's like thanks.
I hate to say I know who exactly you're talking about.
Yeah,
There is a lot of there's a lot of folks who've been in small press for years, and I actually started out when I was exhibiting at San Diego in the exhibitor section, which was I guess just south of small press there,
Yeah.
towards the wall, and I did see the same faces there for the first 3 years that I was doing it there. But from what I understand from all my neighbors is those guys have been there for 10, 15 years or something like that. And then I got an opportunity to move up to the illustrator section after that. And there is people who've been there for years, but the crowd that they draw there, I mean, there are just people who come to find them year after year after year, which is kind of nice. And then, but the price of those tables is just so, the actual exhibitor tables get so prohibitive that when the opportunity came to do Artist Alley for the last 2 years, I kind of took it.
Oh,
It was a lot more manageable. Now, granted, you don't even get half the space that you do in an exhibitor's booth. The Artist Alley tables are only about 4 feet long,
right.
but it's it's something I'll just keep doing. So
Yeah, no, if you can keep doing it, it's great because that's you. There's always people there.
plus it's great to have, not to name drop here, but there's a great blog out there which everybody seems to follow, the unofficial San Diego Comic Con blog.
Yeah.
And
Con.
they, bless their hearts, they always talk me up all the time, and they really give me a lot of nice publicity there. So anybody exhibiting in San Diego, those are the guys to get in good with. So.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Do you ever do WonderCon?
I haven't done it since before the pandemic. It's kind of my old hometown con because I went to school in San Francisco when it used to be up there.
Wow.
And I went to college at San Francisco State and attended that for years when I was in college. Then I moved back down to Orange County afterwards, and lo and behold, it ended up in Orange County.
We
So
followed you.
yeah, and like many old friends, it's a great show. My problem is for years I was doing the D23 Expo, which is also an Anaheim Convention Center.
Right.
It had a lot of crossover. So if it was a D23 year, I wouldn't do WonderCon, and I would do it every other year. So, but D23 changed its format, so I haven't been exhibiting at that the last 2 times. So, I might try WonderCon again. It's Orange County, so you can't go wrong there.
We did it last year for the first time as well, and small press is way off to the side. It's like it's in a second room or a third room. It's
Yeah.
just like way out there, and so it's like hardly anybody came by. We want to try to do Artist Alley because there were people with books there, and
Yeah.
so hopefully we get
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah, I would definitely. Yeah, I've heard nothing. I've had a few friends that have ended up in small press and WonderCon, and it did not go well.
it's sort of like
So,
exile,
yeah, they didn't make back their hot dog money.
Well, we certainly did not, but that's. I guess we're starting out, so we're hitting cons. So I don't expect us to make money for a while doing them. Eventually, it'd be nice, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it'd be nice to sell some someday. So you recently did a book signing.
Yes.
Is that local to where you are?
Yeah. We did. So over here in Maui, we have the Maui Comic Con. Believe it or not, we've had some great guests over the years. Chance for people to come and hang out in Paradise for a little bit, and we were doing because the Comic Con is a nonprofit. We get grants and have to raise matching funds, and so we were doing a fundraiser for the convention for next year. And so I decided to premiere my book locally at this signing the other night, and had a better than hoped for crowd. It was great. So was able to meet some of the local people that I wouldn't meet otherwise.
Oh, yeah. And on your way to Fresno Comic Con?
Yes, Fresno, Central California, atmospheric river coming down.
Have you been to that convention before?
I have not. I think this is actually the first year that it's been rebranded. There was a Fresno Comic Con before, but I think this has now become the Fresno Comic Expo.
You're right, yes.
Yeah, I will be there with my Darkwing co-conspirator, Aaron Sparrow, and we'll be there talking Darkwing, doing doing whatever we can, and drawing pictures and selling books, and sitting there like a couple of chuckleheads. So.
Do they have panels at Fresno?
Yeah, it's kind of still waiting to hear what our panels will be, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'm sure we'll be there to talk Darkwing, and of course I'll have copies of the Pirate Book with me as well.
Right.
So.
Okay. So you said you were invited to attend that one? I was going to ask you what made you want to go to Fresno.
Oh, well, it's the convention business is a lot of there are shows that you do because they're good money shows, and you're always going to do well when you attend there. Some of the smaller shows like this one, if they invite you out as a guest, then they cover your hotel and your
Oh,
plane
wow.
and
Okay.
everything. So,
They cover your plane getting there?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. You must be big.
Yeah,
Important.
there was a time before the pandemic where I was probably doing about almost 10 shows a year, and most of those were guest appearances at the shows. So they cover your and what I would usually try and do, because I'm coming from Hawaii, is I would book ones kind of back to back, so I'd be on the mainland already, so I could fly from one to the other.
So they put you up at the Fresno Motel 6, or?
The Fresno,
I'm trying.
the Astor Fresno. So, yeah, no, they take care of us there. It's a nice little perk about being in the comics business. Sometimes you do get to do travel. I just actually confirmed my one guest appearance for next year, which is going to be in Comic-Con Ecuador.
Ooh, that's weird.
So, yeah, so I'm going to be going to Ecuador next August.
Is that in Quito or?
Whatever
Quito?
the main
Capital is, or?
Yeah, not the capital. It's more the coastal
Okay.
town, but which will be nice because I'm going to fulfill one of my lifelong dreams of always going to the Galapagos while I'm there.
Cool.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
And crossing
It'll be-
the equator and all that stuff.
And I just found out today too that I got into Artist Alley for Emerald City Comic Con, so I will be in Emerald City this coming year. Another one that I haven't been back to since before the pandemic.
So was it just slow to get back into doing it, or just you were kind of like, "Whoo, I don't have to do this."
No, it was kind of like I didn't really have anything new because I was working on the pirate book at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't want to come back with the same old Darkwing that everybody had, and not to mention those books are all out of print right now, so it's hard to have because you like to have something professional to sell at the table. I mean, you guys know this. If you have a book, it's there's the business of these comic convention where there's people that just do artwork, which a lot of them don't have any professional credentials at all. Uh, and then there are the actual creators who work on books or work on different aspects in the industry. And I like to, if I'm going to do a convention, I like to have an actual comic to present. So, um, so now that I have the pirate book, I'm going to be back out there.
How long were you working on the pirate book?
I want to say 7 years. Um, Came up with it first. The first idea I came up with it was probably back in 2017, and started researching about 2 years after that. Um, the pandemic was almost a godsend in terms of, hey, I got to stay home and just work on my book, and put the writing together, and then I think probably 2021 is when I started on the layout and the artwork and throwing everything together. And I'm the kind of person when I work that I have to work in stages. So when I was doing the book, I actually laid out the book first. What I do is I do just a layer of stick figures and cat scratches. And then I do all the lettering first because I don't like being one of those people that has to cram lettering in or cram artwork in like that. I like to give myself plenty of space. So I lettered the entire book first, came back, then did the type pencils, then did the inks. And I guess the sample that I sent you guys before, that the part that was finished, I actually totally redid and used different brushes and different inking techniques. And then the coloring was last. So it was all. So I think I do that because I tend to find that my artwork, especially if I'm working on a longer form story, tends to go through some evolution from beginning to end. So I wanted to make sure that my artwork was consistent over that 180 pages. So that it did help to do it in stages like that.
Okay. Were you working on other projects while you were doing your book?
Yes, there's always money stuff that comes up, and when I say money stuff, is that you know, as Jack Kirby said, comics will break your heart, kid, because there's not a lot of money in it. So there are other things you have to do to supplement along the way. There's commissions that I do privately. There are also merchandise jobs. I do a lot of toy design, toy packaging, things like that. Like right now, I'm working on another project for Disney.
Yeah.
And that's the bread and butter right there. That's the thing that lets me make comics. So.
I guess, can you tell us anything about this Disney project, or your
Yes.
NDA, or?
No, it's actually live on Kickstarter right now, and it ends tomorrow. It's it's called the Disney Afternoon Rewind Collection, and what it is a series of 6 board games, and it's comes in a box set where you get all 6 games. The games are packaged like the old VHS white clamshells,
Uh-huh.
so you open them up like that, and there's one for each of the big 6 Disney Afternoon properties. So we have Darkwing, DuckTales, Rescue Rangers, Goof Troop, Tailspin, and Gargoyles.
Oh.
So yeah.
So what? Obviously, you've worked on those projects. What did you do with the game? I mean, how are you involved
Oh,
with that?
so I did the cover art for the game, and I tried to color him in a way that was done like the old airbrush, like looking VHS tapes.
Yeah.
And then I also designed all the game pieces, that the actual stuff you move from
Oh,
part to part on the. So they're little drawings of mine, and they're all just acrylic pieces, and you can move them around the game board.
And did you have
So,
any input on the game itself, or?
I didn't. This is a company that the company is Maestro Media, and they've been doing board games for forever now. And so they have a system of the actual game system is called Rewind. So it's the Disney Afternoon Rewind collection, and it's involved with dice and playing cards and such. So I didn't. I don't even begin to understand how the games work. They tell me to draw the pretty pictures, so that's what I do.
Okay. Last time we had you on the show, you hadn't read Power Squared, which is the comic book we do, of the
Yes.
three of us do. And we sent you some issues. Were you able to look at them in the meantime?
Anyway,
Talk about breaking our hearts. That's okay.
if I could show you the stack of comics that I have to read
Yeah,
right now, which I haven't been able to get to in my my time, I do apologize.
it hurts, but it's okay. We understand. It was just wanted to send something to see if you had a chance to read it, but okay.
we have kind of a big stack ourselves, so
Yeah.
I guess-
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just got my new trade paperback of The Goon in the mail today, the latest trade of that, which is my favorite comic book of all time. I don't know if you guys read that or not, but
I've read some of it. Yeah.
yeah, and it's been years since there's been a trade collection of that, and I'm thinking, oh God, I want to read this so bad. And also my, I think 3 or 4 months ago, I got the last trade of Fables that they came out with. That's still sitting on my pile. And worst of all is my the Carl Barks Fantagraphics collection, the library that they came out with, that they put out. I've gotten three issues that are sitting on my pile to read books. But I also didn't want to take, because believe me, I am so committed to getting every one of my Kickstarter backers their books by Thanksgiving. That's my, and like I said, I only have about 40 left in the pile, so
Okay.
I want to do that before I take any time off and
That's
read
fine. I understand.
or
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we do. Okay, so we appreciate you being on the show, and
Thank
looking
you.
forward to getting our Kickstarter hopefully soon.
Yes, thanks for having me. Yes, yours will be on their way, like I said, in the next 10 days. So
If someone wanted to follow your work, what's the best way for them to do that?
SilvaniArt.com is my where it's my hub of all things. It's you can get a link to my Bluesky, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. They're all findable on there, as well as my email, and you can find my portfolio there. And by also after Thanksgiving, I am going to reopen my store, so that you will be able to get your own copy of Pirates of Graphic History or Drawasaurus or any of my other things that I have available. So
All right.
If you're watching this on YouTube later and you like this, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more. If you're looking for a silent fidget toy, use our affiliate code Marty and Eli to save 10% off your purchase at getalno.com.
All right. Gotta get the plugs in. All right. So
absolutely.
thanks very much for being on the show. So until next time, I'm David Hankins,
I'm Paul Hankins. I'm Trevor Hankins.
and you've been on the air with Power Squared.